Is that Randy Holedigger? On my property? Interesting. It seems as though Randy Holedigger has left me a tip. Buy now and get rich? I'm broke. I need the money. Welcome to it. Buy a Super Mega Digger 3000 Ultimate 2.0. Plus detector set. Explodes when battery gets empty. That's probably not important. I mean, there's nothing to it. I guess we just start digging and get rich, right? I got a stone. There we go. Another stone. I guess I'll just start in the corner. I mean, it would just make sense, right? Let me, just start making a path. Well, so I don't have a way, to my knowledge. Inventory full, okay. Okay. Cool, I got $3. 3 buccarinos. How about this? Oh, that's cheap. That's pretty cheap. I'll take it. $5 to increase the shovel power. So, I'm assuming I just like, the intent of the game is just core out the center, right? Core out the entire center of the place. So I might as well start from the back. Work our way forward. Sell. Another $3. Yeah, let's do shovel. Well, if I charge it again. What if I just keep charging it? What if I stay at the starter shovel, huh? Who's gonna stop me? Oh, this is mesmerizing. A coal. Interesting. What's the fastest way to get down? If I sell now, what happens? Yeah, I got $3. So then I'll just upgrade the shovel now. Yeah, there we go. How much bigger? Oh, that's hefty. Inventory maxed out. 5 buccarinos? Yep, that's well worth it. And the charge is just $1. That's kind of crazy how cheap that is. So, to be honest, I really just wanted to play this game to talk. I mean, that's kind of all I do when it comes to this channel is talk. But I wanted to talk to you all about where I've been, what I've been up to, where life is headed, the dreams and ambitions I still have, the things I would talk about on stream. Battery low. My mission, my reason to live. That sort of thing. AKA, just continuously dig holes until I get to the center of the earth. See, I think every kid has had this idea, right? I don't know if, depending on where you live, but me as a kid, I wanted to dig a hole to China. I don't know if y'all's parents said that growing up. But my parents were like, oh, what are you doing? You digging a hole to China? And I just like digging holes. This is like being 100%. I'm not even making this up. I just like digging holes. And there was nothing to do besides dig holes. I lived in I grew up in a small town, and it was a rural town. When I mean rural, I mean rural. And my grandparents had 5 acres, which doesn't seem like a lot unless you know, actually see 5 acres. So it's a long amount of land. Well, so one day we would go out and we literally just take shovels and start digging. Take shovels, try not to ruin their land, just start digging. I mean, me and my family, me and my siblings, I should say, we would just go straight out and dig. We ended up making a pit so large you could actually fill it with water. Oh, oops. You could actually fill it with water, like not even joking, and make a mini pond. It evaporated after a couple days, but you could do it. Oh, increase the battery. Just a couple upgrades, might as well. It was literally, I'm not even joking about this. Like, this is actually a thing we did. We ended up making a watering hole for the horses and the neighbor's horses across the way. We also had a tire swing nearby at the neighbor's property, so we would walk probably a couple miles down just to get to the neighbor's house. And we would play on the tire swing. I don't know if you guys have ever experienced a tire swing, but it hangs from a tree, right? Well, if you swing it back a little bit and then you swing it forward, you can start getting momentum. And it's a literal, like, tire you sit in. As it builds the momentum, it gets more and more power going forward. Till eventually, the tire swing is just, like, crazy good going back and forth. That's honestly a blast. I would recommend, if y'all have time, take the time, go be in the tire swing. So where have I been? That's a hard one. And it's not hard for any reason in particular. It's just hard because I've been super busy. I've been at college, of course. I know I can't shut up about college, but it is what makes up my life right now. I'm always super busy about college. I was the same way with YouTube for a while there. YouTube is what I did, my livelihood for a while there, with you guys, streaming, recording, editing content. And that's all I would talk about to everybody. It was my passion. Yo, $15. 30 for the next upgrade. A 27 centimeter radius is crazy. That's like, almost like a 30% increase. As I was waffling about, I've been taking 17 credit hours. What 17 credit hours equates to those who are interested, and those who are considering going to college in the future. That means you're taking roughly 8 classes. Basically the same amount of high school classes. In addition to doing that, I'm also working. Now picture the amount of homework you had when you did classes in high school and magnify it. And also increase the difficulty. All of my homework is very difficult. It's concepts that many people don't ever learn to understand. For example, calculus. Calculus is a very difficult subject. Most people in their life will never use it, but I digress. I spent a lot of my time this year just doing homework after school. The classes aren't that long. I mean, the lectures are anywhere from 50 minutes to 2.5 hours. That's not that bad when you consider everything else I do. And it can be really relaxing, and depending on the teacher, it can be even really engaging. Like, you can actually learn. In my case, I did actually do some learning. It was kind of nice. My teachers are kind of good this year, minus my chem teacher. My chem teacher is literally, we have a site where you can rate your professor. My chem teacher, I'm not even joking. You wouldn't be able to guess the rating. It is 1.2 stars out of 500 ratings. And that's an out of 5 scale. Oh, that's so much bigger. Whoa. Well, I'm going to make gaping gaps if I'm not careful. Treacherous trenches. Cavernous caves. What am I caught on? Okay. My chem class this year has been it's been kind of wild. I mean, the majority of the time, we don't even learn. We just read off the lecture, or I should say, she just reads off the lecture slides. Teachers would normally provide anecdotes, extra information necessary for the exam, things like that. When they, talk off the slides, she just literally talks off the slides. She doesn't provide any extra information. She doesn't do anything. She just makes all of our time that much more difficult. It's infuriating. And she doesn't claim any responsibility when her class average is bunk. The class average for the exams, the exam we literally just took, the class average is a 50. That's not a good look when it comes to being a teacher. But does she care? No, she doesn't care in the slightest. Because, she's the only person who could teach X degree. So that's why she's there. And a lot of teachers are doctoral candidates who don't even want to be teaching. What's a doctoral candidate? It's literally just someone in a doctorate program who thinks they're hot stuff because, I'm in the doctorate program. It's a whole thing. It's dumb too. Thought that was iron. Iron is Fe on the periodic table, if anyone even cares. You know why I know that? Because I had to memorize it. I'm just going to start naming chemical compounds like a madman. I mean, it's a whole thing. It's very frustrating, I'm not going to lie to you. Because I spend a lot of money on college. And I don't get... Okay, second gripe. I don't get money from the government to go to college. I don't get financial aid through the FAFSA. The federal whatever. The federal uselessness. I don't get any aid from that. I don't get any money. They just look at me and say, cry about it. And I'm like, great, I will. As I go around the corner, I start crying. They don't give me any help. So I end up working for college. But the thing is, you don't make money. When you start working, and when you're in a situation that I'm in, you don't start making money. It literally is like this. You're given a job, right? In the job, you get a starting pay. In my case, my starting pay, because of my recommendations and everything, was at $9 an hour. That's not bad. That is $2 above minimum wage. $7.25 an hour is the minimum wage, federal minimum wage. I get paid $9, or at least I did. It took 4 months. 4 months. And I also had to pay for gas to get there, need I remind you. And gas for my car is $55 normally per fill-up. And when you realize I make $36 a day, you start to figure out that, well, things are a little expensive. Well, after doing all that, making as much money as I did, which is none, eventually, if you work hard enough and your boss recognizes your ability, you can do what is known as apply for a raise. You have to literally ask for more money from your boss. And your boss will evaluate what you're doing. Is what you do, does what you accomplish provide enough assets for the company to warrant an increase in the amount of money that we pay you? Do you do enough that allows us to pay you that? That's the question that is asked. In my case, I did. I worked my tail end off every day. I got to work always 15 minutes early, clocked out 5 minutes late. I worked my tail end off. And for the most part, they were respectful of what I did. Everybody there was very kind and compassionate. They were very nice to give me the job. You know what? I'm just going to tell that story on how I get the job and complain more about the money in a minute. I literally walked in. Not even joking, walked in. My boss and my current bosses, all were there at the same time. I walked back, found the nearest manager, and I was like, where's your hiring manager? That's literally what I did. I had my resume, I wore a polo and jeans. That's all I said. Is your hiring manager here? Yes? Cool. I took my resume to the door. I walked over to the hiring manager. Talked with her for a minute. I was like, hey, my name is so-and-so. I have this, this, and this. I need a job? And she was like, cool. Were you the one I talked to on the phone? Well, apparently they had been expecting someone to show up for an interview, but I showed up first. I basically jumped the line on this person, which I feel kind of bad to do for doing that. But honestly, not that bad, because at the end of the day, I am a better asset for the company I work at. The retail store company, I say like that. I can dig under the foundation. Interesting. Anyway. I was just a better asset for him anyway. I walked in. I looked at her and I said, I can be here XXX in days. I will be here on time. And I will do my job, and I'll do better than my job. And she was like, okay, cool. You're hired. I got hired on the spot. And I know that's rare. And that's me boiling down an interview. Because I did actually sit down and have an interview. But I literally got the job on the spot. A spot hire is pretty rare nowadays. Because everybody expects you to have 5 years of experience going into your first job. And I'm not kidding, on my resume I had to list I had 5 years of retail experience. And you're able to kind of glean that retail experience from activities that you do as a kid. In my case, I used to volunteer at a place called Care and Share. It's like a food bank place, where you store food, you administer food and aid to people who need it. That's where I did volunteer hours. That's where I did volunteer hours when I was part of the student council. Again, I'll tell a story about student council later, but I was able to glean my 5 years of experience from that and sell myself on that aspect. My boss bought it too, which was crazy. Little did she know I had no experience doing what I was about to do. But I came in with a learning attitude and a can-do attitude. So I got the job. And they were wonderful. I mean, giving me a chance. They literally took a risk on me. Because if I had been a bad hire, my boss would have had to justify giving me a chance when she knew that I didn't have the experience that someone else had. But I wasn't. I wasn't even a bad hire. And I'm not saying I would have been a bad hire. I was definitely not saying that, because in the end of the day, I do better than my job. I make people feel like the environment is safe, happy, healthy, professional, and clean. And on top of that, I am one of the best cashiers there now. It's a whole... That story alone, that blew my parents' mind. So, my family was very against me getting a job going to college. They would have just preferred me to take student loans and work it off years later. The thing is, financially, it didn't make sense. I'm broke. If you couldn't tell, I'm dead broke. I have no money. I have nothing. My shovel is square now. Anyway, I have no money and no way to get it prior to this. Okay, that's a lot better. Look at that. Look at that. I gotta smooth this out. That's not what I'm saying. Yeah, there we go. Well, and I have a lot of stories from retail work that I can tell in this medium. Because I'm going to start strip mining here soon. Because I gotta admit, there's a lot of mineral deposit here. I think I want to dig to a wall. Wait. Am I tripping out? Oh, that's the light. Yeah, I'm tripping out. I'm like, huh? What is that? I'm gonna dig to the wall here. The wall will be my guiding block and guiding stone for all this. I'll base everything off the wall and I'll flatten this out right here. One thing that's interesting I will say about digging a hole, you don't get it back. Like, there's no getting back the soil that I'm digging. It's gone. It's just permanently gone. And I think that's a really cool game mechanic. Okay, battery. Battery's about to go critical and explode on me. 34 bucks is crazy. I'm feeling that $9 charge. Okay. So now onto a little bit of college stories. So, I do drive to campus. I am quote-unquote privileged. I wouldn't call it a privilege, because I've worked my tail off to get it. But I'm privileged enough to drive to campus most of the way. Based on what I'm allowed to park, the college I go to has a lot of students and very few parking spots comparatively. You know, if we have like 2,000 parking spots, it's not going to cover 100,000 students. Which is all fair and dandy and fine. Based on that knowledge, the way they hand them out is kind of lottery based. You have to wait in a queue, and then you buy your ticket within 5 minutes. And if you don't buy your ticket within 5 minutes, you're just out that ticket. It's gone. Gone forever, reduced to atoms. And you don't get to park on the campus. The tickets, though, are at an exorbitant price. We're talking $175 up to $200 a year. Which for some, that may not be expensive. For me, it is very expensive. Probably should refrain from digging up. I'm gonna flatten this out. I'll call this Sports Landing. So our first location that I have made will be called Sports Landing. It'll be where I base everything off of. Oh! How do I save the game? Okay, interesting. I didn't realize I had to save the game. That'll be an interesting mechanic that I forget and then have to redo every bit of my work, though up to this point, that'll be great. Words are not the thing that I use today. A lot of stuff. Okay, Bourne's Landing. We'll just farm ores here, I guess. Farm ores upgrade. I feel like that makes sense to me. Or Sports Landing, I should say, not Bourne's Landing. We'll call the next spot we make Bourne's Landing. Up my inventory. Might as well. Unless I absolutely, have to. Sounds like it's playing Jingle Bells. But yeah, story from college. To resume where I was kind of getting at. I drive about 35 minutes to college. Well, no, it varies. I drive to college. Wouldn't be 35 minutes. It's been in, up to an hour sometimes. But I drive to college I get there. I park in a building parking center 4 miles, not even joking, 4 miles away from my class. I then have to get out and whip out my bike and bike for 4 miles all the way to class to get there on time. And this isn't like, I'm not gaffing you, I'm not making light of it. This is literally what I do. And then, I'll have class most of the day, and then I'll dip out of class and go straight to work in the evening. I tend to do the night shift, so you get a lot of interesting characters at night. Interesting. Okay, I just got money for no reason, I guess. I just pulled $25 from out of nowhere. Yay. I am making a lot of money. Got these winning Rome. Cool. Down I go. I guess I can keep descending. This will be Bourne's Landing for identification in the future. Bourne's Landing is where I found pocket change, or aka food for lunch for 2 weeks. It cost me about $1 some odd, so I make my own food for lunch. Something else I want to do in the future, Born to be Sports cooks. I'll show you guys the food that I make constantly, because I make food. That's the cheapest way to, probably the healthiest too, is just to straight up make food. Or not make my food. No. Out of here. Okay. So I cook everything. I cook my lunch, my breakfast, my dinner. One of the things I like to cook a lot right now is I don't know how you guys like it, but I cook fettuccine alfredo. I'll buy the alfredo noodles, but I'll make the fettuccine sauce from scratch. I'll add some broccoli to that or zucchini. It tastes so good. Also, fun fact about me, I'm a referee. I'm actually like an official for football, tackle football. American tackle football, I should call it. It's a legit thing I do. You don't make a lot of money doing it. You do it pretty much just to get back to the community. But yeah, it's a legit thing I do. So I'm still not out of sports. That's part of why I'm born to be sports, not born to be spats. I don't know why I need to heal. My health looks fine. I think I'll save it for the next upgrade. Y'all ever visited, any caves? Y'all ever visited, Cliff Dwellings caves? Stuff like that? It is a blast. You should go if you haven't. Visit your national parks. I'm trying to remember the one I just went to. Really famous. Carlsbad Caverns. I went and visited Carlsbad Caverns. And I personally don't like heights. I might as well say I'm afraid of heights. I don't like heights. And Carlsbad Cavern has a lot of height. Wait. Excuse me. That's just a hole. Huh? If my flag, I'm going to leave so fast. The door is right there. I guess. Do I want to investigate the hole? I mean, my battery is low. if I just keep going down? What if I just keep going down? We'll call that hole... I should probably stop digging. Uh-oh. Up, 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 up. I didn't realize my battery was that low. $17 chip, I'll take it. Charge of the battery. What should we call that hole? I'm gonna call that switch hole. Or it doesn't end here. Oh no, it doesn't end, okay. I'm gonna call that switch hole. That's just switch hole. The hole switches. I'm not a big fan of how steep switch hole is either. The dog sounds so mean. Okay. Don't want to fall in the switch hole. It is dark down there. I think I might be when I run over. Yeah, there's something down there. Okay. This better not become a horror game. That's all I gotta say. This was not marketed as a horror game. This better not become one. Alright, we'll go after it for false advertising. Hello? Am I too big to go in switch hole? Yes. Bro. Something's clearly blocking me from going to switch hole. Okay, crap. Battery is critical. I also need to carve out a way. Because the way up right now is a little arduous. Smooth it out. I need a clear path for my big old head. Did y'all hear the story of that one person who's just digging a hole and like posting her story on TikTok? It was kind of crazy. She was literally just like digging a cavern in her yard. Or the basement? I don't remember. There we go. Better. I figure we'll go and switch hole. We're here to explore, to get rich. To get rich! If I were to impart some knowledge on any of you who want to go to college, let me say it this way. College is not for everybody. Don't forget you don't have to go to college. College is a choice. And don't feel like you have to go to college either. Choose what's best in your life for you. And where you think you're being led to go. Don't just do something because someone tells you to, because you'll find you'll resent the life you have. I'm thankful someone told me that. And I started Barnaby Sports and went to college and worked at the same time. But if no one had told me that, I don't know where I'd be. Wouldn't be the leader of the Military Battalion, that's for sure. So in a past life, if you want to learn a little more about me, I've been an athlete for 10 years. I played basketball, football, a little bit of soccer on the sly, ran track, did color guard, which is a sport. It is a sport. I will debate anybody who says it isn't. I disagree. I played baseball. That was crazy. I was one of the best outfielders in the city. I've gone by many nicknames in my life too. So I find it interesting when people actually call me by my name. Because normally people don't know my name. Like, that's not even just, oh, you don't know Borderby Sports. No one knows the man behind Borderby Sports. Realistically speaking. It's dark. I need a light. I need to get a light. Celery's hard to get a light at the same time. Lamp. By two lamp. Yeah, there we go. So, fun fact, growing up as an athlete, I didn't end up, my family was wonderful. They provided me the avenues to do pretty much whatever I wanted when it came to being an athlete. And they allowed me to do all these things. But I played football the longest, tackle football. I started out as a lineman. I was 6'5", no, not actually. I started out in 3rd grade. I was probably 4'8", 4'9". But I mean, I was like 100 pounds, 112 pounds. I was a big kid. And they put me right at center because that's where I ended up. I used to play recess football all the time, but I wasn't the fastest. I wasn't the strongest. I wasn't any of that, but I loved football. And I begged my parents to let me play. My dad likes retelling the story all the time, where I literally, we were going to go get rewarded for being good kids, not even joking. We were going to go get, ice cream, because we were all good kids, we had a good semester in elementary school. And I started bawling my eyes out in the back seat. My dad's like, what the heck? I was going to go take you to get ice cream. Threw my dad off so hard. Well, I had seen the other kids were practicing, because they started practicing summer football for the local elementary school, and my dad was like, okay, fine, we'll sign you up. Not expecting anything of it. Well, he did end up signing me up. And that's when my career began. I remember my first practice in tackle football was really rough, because we did conditioning. The whole team had already known each other, everybody was buddies. I was a nobody who just came in and was relegated right to line. Coach told me to just snap the ball between my legs, toss it back between my legs. That's what Coach told me. Do it only when, the quarterback says hike. Okay. Well, the first year of football was all the same, except I was getting stronger, leaner. So I was still, 100 pounds. I had dropped 10 pounds. As a kid, that's huge. I dropped 10 pounds, I'd gotten faster and stronger, I was keeping up with the quarterback of the team. I won't name drop, we'll call him Harp. I was keeping up with the quarterback, Harp. Harp was a very fast kid. One of the fastest kids in the league, actually. And had the high school scouting him as a kid. And you know what? Harp was a pretty chill dude. Harp, hardworking like me, fights for what he wants. So I had no problem with Harp. I could probably wrap around here. as the year went on and progressed, we got to the end of the year, and we got to the playoffs, which was huge. My team, the Hogs, that's not a name, but I'm using different names right now. Actually, no, I can say it. The league I used to play for shut down. My team was the Dogs. Well, we were laughably bad, but we weren't the worst in the league. The worst in the league was the Stallions at the time. We always beat the Stallions. The Stallions were always the laughingstock of the league. They would win one game a year, and the kids on that would always get beat up. They had a bad coach, to be honest. The coach didn't teach them anything. They get destroyed every game. The best team in the league was the Wildcats. Well, when we got to the end of the year, we didn't make it to the playoffs. That was incorrect. We were god-awful. Final game of the year, though, was against the Stallions, which I knew that's my big chance. That's my big chance to show off and show everybody. Well, I was a D lineman and an O lineman. I played offense and defense, both sides of the ball. I had gotten to the point where I was so well conditioned, I played the whole game without coming out. Now, the whole game was all but 40 plays because we were a play count league, not a timed league, for the sake of the parents and the kids. It actually functioned very well. Paying the refs was difficult, though. Well, we got to the end, and it was facing the Stallions. And they were notorious for being very crafty with what they did. Very tricky. As a group, they were a fine group. They were a fine team. All respect to them, but they were god-awful, and I'll tell it to their faces. They'd probably agree, too. It was about middle point of the game. Coach decided to switch me to tight end. He was curious, and I was curious too. I had shown him a lot of speed, and we had practiced that week, me going in as a tight end. Just for the sake of seeing, how would I fare it? How would it affect the team positively? And to put it simply, it really did. Affected the team very positively. Because I went in. It's called a tight end dump play. It's where the big old tight end, who normally only blocks, and at this point in football history, there weren't a lot of people throwing the ball. The tight end normally blocks. Well, coach developed a play called the tight end dump, and I don't know if he got it from someone else. He probably did. Where the tight end just runs literally 2 feet. We're talking, I'm here where the green screen is, runs there. The quarterback rolls left, turns around and throws the ball to the tight end. And I caught it. I actually caught it. I had never practiced catching the ball, and I caught it. And then I turned around, and I ran 40 yards for the touchdown. Now, sure, it was kid yards, 40 kid yards, so it was probably like 30 yards or whatever. But that was huge. I hadn't scored my whole career. That was my first career touchdown ever. And then the very next drive, I went in on defense. I mean, I was hyped up on adrenaline from just scoring. That alone was huge. But now I was even further hyped up because not only had I just scored, I'm going in on defense. I really like to tackle people. I can't see nothing. I think I'll just keep going down. I was so hyped. That was like the highlight of my whole year, is I actually scored. Except I thought it was the highlight of my year because we got to defense and we ended up holding the Stallions to their goal line. What that means is, for those who don't know what American football is, the goal line is like the area where we would score. We, on offense, would score, not defense. But we could score on defense. But the quarterback snapped the ball. They were having a rough time. Again, I don't blame them. It was the bad coaching. They weren't ready for it because my linebackers had given them a blitz. Well, the quarterback panicked. So when he snapped the ball, he fumbled it and dropped it on the ground. I was free and fast, and it fumbled my direction. and I picked up the ball and walked it in for the touchdown. It was huge. Again, never been taught before. It was like instinct had kicked in. Like something straight out of Kung Fu Panda, where like Poe's on a ship and he's just throwing cannonballs left and right. It was like that sort of instinct where it was just like, yes, what I meant to do. After that day alone, I was never on the line again. And that was huge. That was huge for my whole career. That moment had started my whole football career as a whole. But I will think I'll wrap here. I don't think I'm going to do a lot of cuts in this episode. Maybe just enough so I don't make you guys annoyed between the parts, but I think that I'll end it here. I think I'll be telling some stories on this. I'm having a good time. This is a nice, chill, relaxing game. And I hope you enjoy it. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching this. I'm Buddy Torch signing off for now. Bye now forever. I'll see you guys soon. Take care.